morning. This is International Master and FIDE Senior Trainer Sekal Sahu welcomes you on behalf of Sports Authority of Gujarat and Gujarat State Association for the live commentary of 49th Senior Women Chess Championship being played here at Ahmedabad. So today is the penalty butt round and we have got very interesting encounters. I will have the pleasure of presenting to you in a short while. Before that, let's have a quick review of the last round. In the game, the first board between Padmini Raut and Bhakti Kulkarni, it was melodramatic and a game of fluctuation of fortunes. In the game, White played e4 and Black surprisingly did not go for his favorite French defense, went for e4, e5 classical and went for the offbeat g6 and Padmini played the main line e4 and now pawn into pawn bg5. I don't understand why Black chose this system, this is inferior. Now f6 is the main line, but she played bishop to e7 which is inferior, take and castle. White has the advantage. And now e5. Now the position is very good for White. White can play here many moves. White can play rook e1, rook e1. This is a bad move. Rook e1 is excellent for White. Anyway, this is bad and simply Black won a pawn. Now queen into knight will be refuted by pawn into b2, winning the game. So only move. Knight into is bad because exchange of pieces is not in White's favor. She needs to attack in compensation for the pawn. This is may not be the best move here. Now he should play maybe knight to b6 because there is no way White can open up the game quickly. So this move is more desirable. Or queen c5. I would rate queen c5 as I commented yesterday to gain time. After queen c5, now you got to protect the bishop and Black will have knight to e7, knight c6 to e7 and complete development quickly. Or b6, bb7 for that matter. After queen c7, bishop got to retreat, knight to bishop c4, then you can have one more tempo if necessary, or knight to e7 and the game is okay. But this is suspicious and after rook e1, castle, this is a waste of time. Because in the attack, White will have just queen and knight and Black has adequate defense after f6. So wasting time, there is no point. White is a pawn down, so it should speed up the development. There is nothing better, the simple NBD2. NBD2, White will have some compensation before Black could complete development. So bad move. Maybe here just b6, b7, but Black is worried about knight to e4, so we must get rid of that weakness. Now the achievement is very little. Now, for example, now hasty d6 will run to bishop to c4. So why not bishop pawn b6? Why not pawn b6? Pawn b6 should be okay. There is no danger coming. After b6, bb7, maybe you can return the pawn. b6, bb7 is there possible? Okay. Now c4, this is not good. Blocking the bishop. Of course, the idea is to play nc3, nd5, but this is too slow and b6. Now, I don't think White has much compensation. Black has a superior piece. For his slight weakness on the king side, especially the Black diagonal and the f6 square. So, White is having only hope to exploit that, which is, I believe it is remote. I think now at this moment, maybe pawn to g6 is possible, so that the king gets a room at h6. Anyway, it is a matter of choice, so bishop d7 is okay. Now this is just unjustified. Now already White is having problem and to Black is consolidating, creating a further weakness is not justified. Now we should go for exchange of queens and exploit the bad endgame. more correct move maybe here. What can I recommend here? What can I recommend here? I think knight c3 may be more desirable. Knight c3 with the idea and d5. There is immediate threat, and if he plays knight d4, we have got knight d5. Knight c3, the whole idea of c4 earlier should be playable, but this is just yet another weakness, and this weakness hounded white till the end of the game. So many weak squares. I think the game is going forced, and after the heavy pieces are traded, white is breathing safely, because after knight and the variation is forced, and it is almost like draw now, I believe. Queen takes pawn, check. I believe at the moment I would say queen into c4 was more correct, because after queen c4, if he will play queen into a7, queen c1 check and queen g5, taking the base out of f6. I think the variation would have been queen c4, you got nothing better than queen a7 or queen d6, doesn't matter. Then queen c1 check and queen g5 is in favor of black, because black will have an extra pawn and a superior piece, and white king is not fully safe, it is still subject to attack. So simply queen c4, but this check and taking the comeback, wasting time. Now white is pinning his hope on the passed a pawn. The idea is queen into f2 and mate, check. Now this Bhakti overlooked the simple pawn a6. You cannot take on account of queen a2 check. Now black has lot of worry. Of course queen b7 is possible, but that would be a draw, so this is good move. This is necessary to stop the knight to check, check. Maybe here I think since I think pawn to f4 and f5. Now the material is equal. After bishop into pawn, bishop moves, there is no mating attack immediately. So you should ignore, but speed up the f4, f5. White plays f4, now bishop into g2, f5 is coming. And if you take knight into pawn, it's really bad for black. So f4 is the correct move. The queen and knight is a better pair than queen and bishop. Queen and knight is a wonderful combination. So f4, you got to take the pawn, there is nothing better I see. So you can't stop f5 anyway. So after bishop into pawn, f5, and I think black is in deep trouble. Even though there is little material, black should be in deep trouble. But this waste of time, this is too slow. And now this is a more or less a draw now. With a centralized queen, the player agreed to a draw. The game continued for another few moves and they fizzled out. So the last chance white had, the table turned in favor of white from a very bad position. Now after the position, the position was queen 2. Okay, so this game was also very interesting. I believe the game was winning for white till the end. Till the end, I would say, when the position is like this. Now check. Now this position, black should try to draw only. There is nothing better. Now here, you can come here, and here in this position. So I believe that move rook to c2, bishop check. The king has moved. Then rook c2. After rook c2, queen e3. There is nothing better. Then you have got queen c1. You got queen c1, and the game should be able to win for white, I believe. Rook c2, queen e3, queen c1. You have a check there. You have a check at f3. F3. And king b1, knight check is there. So it is not clear. Already counterplay is there, and after he agreed to it, not taking risk to king g2, etc. So let's look at the round 10, which must have begun already by now. So today, the first board we have got Bhakti Kulkarni versus Mahalakshmi. Bhakti Kulkarni goes for the Reti opening, and Mahalakshmi plays very solid. This is a well-known line because limiting the scope of g2 bishop, preparing for bg4 or bf5. I think this is theoretical reputation is roughly equal. Now the second board we have got Mridul Dhyankar versus Padmini Rao. So after the knight of 3 d6, so Padmini goes for her old favorite Sicilian Najdorf, and white goes for the old main line. At the moment we have got two choices generally. You can play f3 b3 for a quick attack on the king side, English attack, prepared by the youngsters, modern players, and the old main line is b5. Of course, in the earlier round, Padmini had played f4, which is actually not a dangerous opening, 6th f4. So here, Mridul Dhyankar plays the bishop g5 old main line after e6, f4, h6. So I believe the line is not really dangerous because the whole concept is that you are avoiding the knight b3. At the moment, if you play queen b6, knight b3, white is slightly better. So the variation trying to avoid and creating a weakness in the king side is not justified. For example, here white can play something like pawn to a3, and if you play knight to c6, you can play here knight e4 to knight d4 to e2. I think this may be possible, or even here bf2 is possible. After a3, knight c6, bishop f2. So I don't think this is sound line black has chosen, weakening the h6, because eventually that could be a very dangerous point for g4 g5 break. If you castle short, then white has the typical thematic break with the preparation of g4 g5. And if you castle long, already he has got been blocking the pawn. So I think a3 is the correct move. A3 is the correct move. And NC6 can be met with knight bishop to f2, a3, knight to d7. I think already white is having the advantage. So you can see that white has, black queen has wasted one move, and black has made the h6 move, which will be a future problem for him. If he castles king side, it is not a good idea, and even queen side is underdeveloped. So already white has an opening advantage. So let's go for the next board. Next board we have Sridhar Seshadri and Marian Gomes, experienced WGM, IM, Marian Gomes versus young Mridul Dhyankar from Maharashtra. So, sorry, Marian Gomes is black, Sridhar Seshadri is white. So let's see the opening, d4, c5. So we have the Sicilian Paulsen, which is having a, this variation is not good. I think theoretically white should play bishop d3 and having advantage in all variation. After bd3, white is all better in any variation. I think in bd3, the second choice is nc3, but the c4 is not desirable as played by earlier round Tejaswini Sagar versus Divya Deshmukh. Maybe here queen c7, nc3, Now NH6, BE2, BD3 is better. After Queen C7, he will play NC3. Now Knight H6, BE2 preparing to castle. We have got bishop to D6. I think in this position, Tejaswini Sagar had played F3 after Queen C7, F3, and Divya missed bishop to D6 with a clear plus. Now A3. I think there are too many pawn moves in the opening. It is not desirable. I don't think it's a good idea to waste so much time in opening. You must develop castle quickly. Now for example, let us say pawn B6, BE2. Now bishop to B7, F3. Then we have got bishop D6. Bishop to D6. Would you mean to say that NB5 can come? Yeah, it can come. NB5 can come here. NB5 take, knight B5, queen check, BD2 is there. Alright. So maybe B6, BE2, BB7, F3. And now you can just play for that hedgehog setup. Black can just go for the hedgehog setup. B7, D6, BD7, NB7 and castle. Then rook E8, RC8. Hedgehog setup. I don't think it's a good idea. The idea is to stop BB4 and then castle, but wasting a time and creating a weakness is not desirable, because C4 will be your target easily if you play B4. So the hedgehog setup is the best under the circumstances. Position is overextended. I think in this position it is better. In this position here, Queen C7 is okay, and after A3 you should go for the hedgehog setup like D6 and NBD7, B6. Let's say B6, B6. Now BB7, BD3. Now BD3. You play black should play pawn to D6. Now castle and D7, followed by B7 and castle, and after rook E8, rook C8, you should do maybe queen B8 and idea BC7. One game I saw Mahesh Digundi's plan that in the hedgehog setup. Now simply this. No, this is not the correct one. The best setup I would say D6, castle, NB7, and now bishop E3. Now you can play bishop E7 followed by castle and rook E8, rook C8, then queen B8. Excellent setup. Alright. After the game, this is an interesting battle. This is Divya Deshmukh versus Vera. Okay. So Divya is settling her openings very frequently, sometime E4, sometime D4, sometime NF3. But as black, she is more consistent, going for some Caro-Kann setups and sometimes Sicilian. So it has turned out to be an English opening. I believe this position, white is slightly better. This position, reverse color, Max W gave several wins as white with the reverse color. The position should be harmless. Now, the symmetrical structure, normally the extra moves always desired. A symmetrical structure, white has the move, and white should be little better but not enough. For example, a move like bishop to E3. Bishop E3 is very interesting, because after B3, B6 is unplayable. B6 unplayable, and if you play something like ND4, then you have rook FD1. I think this is interesting. Okay. e3 should be the next good move for white. Actually, the players are not taking chance, keeping in mind of the uh, very big prize money, moving 30 lakhs. So they are unwilling to take risk. Why should white play? Having you should take advantage of white pieces. Why should you play a dull position? And having more experience and top seed, should go for the main line. Okay, it's a matter of choice and advice of the coach. All right. Now who is this? Nimi George versus Soumya Somina. So Soumya goes for the Sicilian classical system. Boleslavsky is not, because the current statistics of this position shows 65% in favor of black. So white should have played the main line bg5, or the second best choice is Sozin attack. Rouse or bg5 is good, or bc4 the Sozin attack is good. bc4, e6, be3 with the idea of queen e2 and long castle. The sharp system should have been chosen, or normal bg5 is good. But this be2, it is not sharp and gives a very easy game to black. Black has a choice to play Sicilian dragon, because Yugoslav attack is the strongest thing against dragon. If you are not playing Yugoslav, then you cannot counter an advantage against dragon. So black can choose here g6, bg7 castle, or the sharper e5. After e5, nb3, be7, I don't think white has got anything out of the opening. So goes for e5, be7, castle. Now king h1 with the idea you want to play f4, f5. Now black should play a5. Black should play a5, because after a5, a4 you can play knight to bishop to e6, and f4 can be met with knight b4, and f5 can be met with bishop d7 and return to c6. Now for example a5, you got to stop a4, because if you allow, black will play a4, a3. After a4, a5, a4 is necessary. Then bishop e6, then white will play f4, then knight b4, f5 can be met with bishop to c6 and return to bishop to d7 and return to c6. Then unstoppable d5. And this variation was played by Boris Spassky in the candidate match with Anatoly Karpov, semi-final candidate match 1974. Boris Spassky was black, and the same system he adopted. So I don't understand what made white choose this plan. I don't know if there is an improvement in that, but certainly the variation is very easy for black. a5, be3, or if you play a4, if you play a4, I told you, if you play a4, bishop e6, f4, knight to b4, f5, bishop to d7, and bishop c6, and black is a little better. Now a3 should come. Now white has failed to stop. Now a3. After a3, b3 you have to play, and b3, queen to a5. It's a clear minus for white. Now you have not allowed, so black should play fearlessly, very quickly. It is an easy game. Easy game, very easy for black now. a3, of course pawn takes pawn is bad. You got to play b3, and after queen a5, I think the knight has no good retreat. Not a good retreat, because e4 pawn is under pressure. I think it is better that you should have played a4. And what white is planning? Black is planning. Should play a4 immediately. I guess I saw all this in one of the Gligoric's book, maybe some 50 years back. 50 years back I read a book of Gligoric, How to Play Sicilian Defense. In that the mention was pawn to a3, then b3 is necessary, then queen a5 minus plus. Because you got to retreat the knight, there is no good square. Knight has to go to b5, which is not very happy, and knight d5 is not coming, was losing a pawn, and knight b1 is miserable. So a3 is so easy to find. All right, let's go. Let's go to the next. Now here, Isa Sharma versus Barcelona. Let's go through the opening. They breezed through the 14 moves in just 10 minutes. So E4. So English attack. It is an English attack. Of course, you could try for D5, which is slight better for white. The more correct move here, knight to b6. Knight to b6 with the idea if to meet g5, there is a place for the f6 knight and d7. In b6, vacating the d7 square for the f6 knight, and with the idea later on rook c8 and c4. It is desirable to play nb6 right there. Okay, still nb6 was playable, but anyway, I guess this variation it should be good because, of course, in the earlier line, some of the variation, if the bishop was at b7, if the black bishop was at b7, then white could have played bs3 and bishop to g4, which is very unpleasant. But now, in the given circumstances, you can play knight b3 to e2 idea in g3. Knight b3 to e2 in g3. That looks also very interesting. What you are going to do about it? Knight b3. So a5, a4 can come. What else you can do? What else you can do? One of the idea is nd5. I would say nd5 looks good to me because nd5, then you have the possession of a5 square, and bishop takes knight. Then you can take the queen as well. You can take the queen as well. I think his white is anyway slightly better. No, you cannot take the queen. Bishop into pawn is coming. What you could do? What you could do here? Because nd5, bd5, ed5, then black gets some kind of freedom. Black is preparing to play knight f4, so that if you play take it and then he can take and bishop takes, then bg5 is coming. So white played g5 when it is little late. What can he do now? I think anyway, black has got play. Black is preparing to play knight f4 as well, and preparing if you play e2 and then a5, a4, or b5. This is not very nice for white. Okay. So here, Kiran Manisha, WGM from Orissa. How the opening went on against Pratyusha Boda. The dubious reputation. The variation to play c6 and c5, losing a tempo. So the idea is to convert it to a French type of position. Now I think simply a3. No, knight f3. Now it is not a good idea. e6 was a3. If you play e6, a3 was there, and after nc6, I believe bb5 should be good. bb5 should be good here. bb5, and after e6, be3. Queen f5 check is not dangerous because of nc3. I think after bb5, white has an advantage. White played bb5. Now a3. I don't think you should the pawn, because you can defend the queen side majority. You have got very fast, because at the moment, why not bishop e3? Because bishop d7, you can play bishop into c6 and bd4 if necessary. Okay, a3, this is also okay. Now b4. So b7 has got to go back, because now there is a problem he is facing with bb6, queen g4 is coming. Okay, so going on, this line is favorable for white. Let's see the next one. Next one, we have Chitrangani Saki versus Saranya. This should be no problem for black. The line chosen by white is hardly any danger. No, you should play normal to bg7, knight f3 castle, and e4, d6, and then nc6 and prepare for e5. Now nc6, d6, and you prepare for e5. I don't see. You simply bg7 and e4, you have d6, knight f3 castle. Now e2, you can play nc6. I don't see any problem with any problem. Okay, this is the drawback of the system is white plays for the e5 weakness. White plays for the e5 weakness with e3, knight f3 and knight e5, etc. Make sure that the bishop is saved to meet knight h5 with bh2. Now for white, the strategy is to possession of the e5 square. So preparing for nf3 and ne5, and eventually maybe pawn to f4. White position is slightly better. Swati Ghate versus Arpita Mukherjee. Okay. Veteran versus youth. WIM versus WIM. So white position is slightly better here. Now, in the given circumstances, white should play rook e1, bishop to e7, then knight a4. With the idea c4 and b3, bb2. White setup is good after rook e1. What did she do? No. This move, I would say, you keep the queen choice for a future move. Now rook e1 is better, not engaging the queen, because eventually you want to play the Marxiband setup. So the queen is well placed. Bring the rook into the game. Rook into the game. Rook e1. Black should play maybe b7. Then white plays knight to a4. Castle. Then white plays c4. Then queen c7. Then b3, bb2. White has the advantage. Don't know about this. I believe that Anatoly Karpov played this in his younger days. It is in his book, Best Game Book by Karpov, 1969 to 1977, I think. So here, rook e1 with the idea knight a4, c4 and b3, bb2 is giving some space advantage and a bind in the given position. Okay, so queen e2. Okay, the same setup preparing with the idea pawn to c4 and get some space on the queen side and trying to exploit some weak squares. c4, bb2, c4, b3, bb2. Okay. But I believe that queen on d1, the knight would have been more protected. For example, now I move like queen to a5. Then, anyway, b3 is there. Yeah, b3 is there. Okay, so alright, next. Is this next? Isa Karwade versus Chandri Hazra, the young girl from West Bengal versus the veteran from, I would not say veteran yet, Isa Karwade, an experienced player, WNGM. So D4, D5, C4, E6, knight F3, knight F6. So we have gone for a queen's gambit decline in C3. So the BF4, this line is no harmless. Now black should just castle and play C5. Now C5 should lead to equality, because after C5, Queen A5, I think the game has, after C5, DC5, Queen A5. After C5, white will play DC5, then black will play Queen A5. Should be equal. Yeah. No, maybe, okay, because bishop D6 is so okay. Now Queen A5. Okay, this is also okay. I don't see any advantage why white has chosen the variation. Okay. Harmless line for black. Already violence has started in this game. Nisa Mota versus India. What is this? D4, C5. So Geller line, A4. Yeah, this line, white has a small advantage. Yeah, white has an advantage. Okay, Geller line. Versus Monica. So this line is not active, and white gets an easy advantage with bishop c4. The line was played in the World Championship final round between Boris Spassky and Petrosian from last match game, 1969. So, or the penultimate last maybe. But in any case, several games you will find white bishop c4. The problem is that e6 runs to a danger of any time a sacrifice. After bc4, e6, suppose castle, and black cannot play b7 because bishop e6 is just winning. So bishop c4, e6. I think this is good for white. Okay, this is interesting move, but definitely bishop c4 is more desirable. The idea is to long castle for a quick f4 e5. White's idea with the long castle and quick f4 e5. Maybe more to the point is b6, because so many pieces are occupying the dark square b6 with the eventual a5, eventual nc5. After b6 and bb7, black looks better. Black looks better. Why weaken the squares around? Okay. Now Gujarat players are there. Tejaswini Sagar and Vishwa Vasnawala. Let's have a look at their games. So black goes for the slab defense. Now the point is, here instead of this move, black could have played here e5. That is why nf3 is more desirable, playing safe. After nc3, then additional relation e5, giving an easy equality, as played by Kasparov against Timan. For example, if you play e5, d into e5, d4, knight e4, queen a5 check. nd2, we have nv d7, recovering the pawn with a better game. That is why better, but anyway it now transposes. So Here black has a pleasant choice to take the pawn or play the semi-slab. After pawn into pawn, white can play e4, the Geller attack, or white can play a4, Alekhine system, Alekhine variation, with the small advantage for white. After pawn takes pawn, a4, so black goes for the safer semi-Slav defense. So we have a position of which gambit exchange variation, it has been transposed, and I would say it is like something somewhat similar. If the pawn was on e6, it would have been like Cambridge spring, but now that it has been exchanged, so I think white has a small advantage after nfd2, after nfd2 or even bd3. Better to play nfd2. Better to play nfd2. Yeah. Knight into knight has to come, and after knight into knight, we have bishop to f4, then bishop b4. I think the position is white is better. The position white should be better. What is happening to Viswa today? She is playing against Sakshi Jain. Sakshi Jain. Viswa is playing black. So goes for the solid and Wikopia Italian game. So fast. Okay, everything is all known to theory. Game is just dull, and now the black continuation should be maybe rook e8, so that overprotect and discouraging d4, and after rook e8 black can maneuver to knight e7, knight g6. I think rook e8 is the correct move here, because immediate knight e7 white can play d4. Rook e8 is a good move, and now white also can play re1. Then you have got knight e7, preparing to bring the knight to g6, f4, or you can hit after rook e8, you can play for d5 also. The game is little danger to black. After rook e8, black has various plans. He can prepare to play be6, that is a good move. He can prepare to play knight e7, knight g6. So s3, e6 should be equal. I don't think any problem. The variation after queen d7, I think perfectly okay for black. So Viswa has chosen a solid line and without any risk. Let's return to board 1 now. Return to board 1. Bhakti. So after the move, I expected the Reiki setup. It is not necessary to do this. The position, this is just okay. You should focus on development. Just focus right now. Maybe just you play bishop to b7 or bishop to d6, bishop b7 and castle. I don't see any problem. I don't think you should take the pawn, because after taking the pawn, maybe you can play queen takes pawn now. Not pawn into pawn, weakening the diagonal. So I think queen takes pawn and then c3 should be good for white. It is a reverse Sicilian type of position, and black has not played e4, e5. So I would say queen c4 and then c3, giving an advantage. This is small advantage to white. Okay, not a good opening move to taking the pawn. Mudul versus Padmiji Rao. Plays through lot of moves. So after the English opening, queen f3, castle. He says, go for it. Now there is a sort of piece sack is there. Is this coming? No, that is not coming. Bishop at c8 would have come. So castle has to be taken. Now as it happened between Braunstein versus Nasdaq. So trying to get a piece, but in that variation the queen was at d2. Now the piece sack is not coming because the d6 point will be guarded by 2. So d6 is not coming. What he can do now? The pawn h6 would be a problem. The Braunstein-Najdorf game, I would say, I don't know, let me see if I can, without whether it is okay to bring this. Just a minute. Whether I will be able to display on the chess base, because I am unable to make the moves on the DGT board. So I am unable to bring that. It's just base my database files. What happened in the Braunstein-Najdorf game? Braunstein-Najdorf. Difference in the Braunstein-Najdorf game, I see the difference, it is not coming here. The move order went on. In the Braunstein-Najdorf game, now here the b5 sack is not coming. The difference is here. I will tell you in the point here. After the move e6, the Braunstein had played queen f3. Braunstein had played queen f3, and after queen c7, long castle, and after b7, some queen, that he is prepared for some queen g3 had come, b2 queen g3 had come. So instead of f4, now in the position, imagine the position. Now imagine the position, the pawn is not on f4 and queen at g3. The pawn is not f4 and queen at f3, and then long castle has been done and queen g3. So in this position, the sacrifice came. So it is not the same position. Alright, We have got the piece sacrifice in the other players, grandmasters for 3 pawns. Let us see this thing, what has happened. So queen d6 here, castle. So the problem has come now, as I told you, at 6 the problem has come. What can you do now? How to handle the position? The game has turned out not so good because white has, without thinking, just pushed the pawns. Now at this moment, white has just started pushing the pawns without much calculation. Not good. It was more desirable. I think power problem. Very quickly you have to do it quickly before it gets knocked out. Fast. It's okay now. Alright. So here, instead of playing a move like Rash G4, he could have played here Bishop to D3 is good. Bishop D3, NC5, Rook E1. Bishop D3, NC5, Rook H1. White should be better. White should be better. But instead, this G4 is a bad move. It is like a self goal. Now, all of a sudden, the move has come, and this is further bad. Further bad move. But what else you can do? So, instead of G4, the school Bishop D3 to meet NC5 with Rook D, Rook E1 should be good for white. Good for white. Okay, so the turn of the events had turned to be in favor of black now. So first board, here this is white has, what did white do after queen? So white played queen c4, bishop not a very good idea. We keep exchanging pieces. Not no achievement. This must be, white must be better. There is a vacuum on the queen side. Because all this thing, black is not going to have a king side attack. So after NC3, white looks better. Okay. So this is turned to be black's favor. Already black has been having upper hand in the second board. What is this thing? Serious Sasadriya says million points. So it is a blunder. How can you blunder in the penultimate round with such a big prize money at stake? Positional blunder, not material. It is a positional blunder. Also material also. Why not? Why not anything wrong with knight into pawn? Huh? I'm say knight into pawn, nothing is wrong. Why? What is he afraid? What black is afraid of? Knight into pawn, knight into knight, bishop into rook f1. We have got queen to b8 is there also. I don't see any problem. Why when there is a material is given, what is wrong in grabbing it? I don't see any problem in that. Knight into, because if rook f1, the immediate rook f1 runs to knight into c3. So rook f1 doesn't work. You've got to take the knight. And after bishop into, now rook f1, you have to play queen to b8. Oh no, that is the bishop into bishop is there. Wait a minute. So what am I supposed to do? Knight into bishop into, then you have got rook f1. I see. Rook f1. This is not a good move, because after you play queen to b8, bishop and rook is there. But I suspect there is a rat. How about bishop into pawn? Instead of knight into, how about bishop into pawn? Because rook f1, we have now queen to b8, and if you play bishop into bishop, I have knight into e4. Huh? It should be okay. The f7 point is target, but that can be defendable. I would say that material center pawn, black can take little risk. After bishop into pawn, I don't see anything else. You have to play rook f1. You got to play rook f1. Rook f1. And you can play even queen to e5. After bishop takes pawn, you can play queen to e5 also. Rook f1. Other than queen to b8. Bishop to bishop, knight into bd4, knight into c3. All right. So rc8. I cannot understand what is wrong in taking the pawn. Am I missing something? I don't think so. Because rook f1 is the only alternative, and you can play queen e5. Okay, rook c8. It is difficult. Black did not take the pawn, and rook c8. I don't understand. Why you would not take the pawn? What is he looking for? Queen to c d6? What will he do? Oh my God! Now queen d6, bishop pawn c5. Pawn c5 is there. This is not a good position. Not a very pleasant position. Bishop retreat. d6 is not desirable. Strange game, strange game. After queen e5, queen e5 will castle. Castle short, of course, but then bishop check and take queen check. And then d6. Very unusual maneuver. The other alternative I can see is to play bishop to d6. Now development. I don't see any problem with bd6. I don't see any problem. Bishop d6. You cannot castle, and the exchange will help black. Bishop d6 looks to be very logical to me, because you cannot castle long and b3 has to come. In that case, maybe you can take it. Maybe you can take it after bd6. Queen e5. I think bd6, be3, queen e5 maybe was better, because with the idea be3, queen into queen and knight h5, seizing the square. Okay, this is also not bad. With the immediate threat of pawn to d5. In any case, black looks good to me, because there is no pressure, there is a weak e pawn, and there are a lot of loose squares on the queen side. So, the opening move order, one move before, I cannot understand what is wrong in grabbing the pawn. What is wrong? Bishop into e4. Bishop e4. Now, if you play rook f1, queen e5 is just good enough. Then bishop into bishop, knight into, bishop d4, knight into, bishop into queen, knight into queen, rook into. You have got time to defend. Nothing wrong. Alright. Let's go. Now what happened top board? So it's already having problem. Bishop into, knight into. Why knight into? Why knight into? Why not pawn into? There is a lot of kingside activity. Why play so weak? Just pawn into should be good. Is he worried about the piece sack? Possible. Pawn into, there is no piece sack danger. There is no white square bishop. So after pawn into, we got to move. And I think black looks better after rook c. After pawn takes e4, the queen moves to somewhere to e3. Rook a c8 should be good for black. Okay, this is weak move and does not pose any problem. Goes to a dull after knight into knight. You will put up a blockade. Knight into knight, queen e3, rook c8, then king b1. I don't see white can count on anything. Black can count on anything here. After pawn into, the game was dynamic. Alright. So, Srija Seshadri versus Mary. Okay, this is no development. What is happening with Divya Desum versus. So, this is a very dull game. Cannot understand why to choose in a penultimate round when the tournament is coming to a close. In the beginning stage of the game, you okay, because you don't know, but already the placement will be decided in 2 rounds. So, you need to queen now in c3. bg5, e4. and b5. I don't see any problem. Now, black's main problem is queenside development. So, you should play bishop e6 and after you defend the pawn h6, everything is okay. Black is out of the opening problem. Bishop e6, you may play knight d2 or pawn to b3, bishop a6. What are you going to do? Bishop a6, e6, nd2. Then you can play nd4 as well. No need of h6. Why knight h5? Why knight h5? Here, simple b6. You attack the pawn and you can play some b3 move because of knight h5. If you play some nfd2, then you can play nd4. Okay, anyway. So the next one, Jimmy George versus what a violence has taken place here. So finally, she played a3, knight c4. This must be bad. This must be bad for white. Black can generate a lot of play, so many weak squares and weak pawns. Sharp play. The public wants sharp play today. So Nimi says, I am here. Public wants sharp play and Nimi gives it. Soumya plays sharp b5 to trade the center pawn for the weak pawn. Idea now, knight b6 can come. After knight b6, I think it is bad because black can play pawn to b4 and knight into rook, pawn into knight. Looks really terrible. A terrible position. Very well played by Soumya. Now intending for an excellent sacrifice. What are you going to do? Where the knight is going to go? Where will you go? What will you do now? The active looking knight b6 is met with pawn b4, knight into rook, pawn into c3. Oh my God, there is a protected pawn on 7th rank. Would you believe that? With queen a5 to follow. bb6 may not work. The knight must come back. Now first of all, where the knight will come back? Knight to b6. And that will meet with bishop to e6. The variation knight b6 is very risky for white. Knight b6, pawn to b4. Knight into rook, pawn into c3. Knight b6, bishop e6. It spells lot of trouble. Now e4 pawn, a2 pawn. Both are under attack. Two pawn down and not a good position. And there is no kingside counter chances for white. So other knight, instead of nb6, what you can do? Knight into b2, then pawn b4. Well played. So today, penultimate round and last round, public wants sharp play. What you want to do here? The variation looks very dangerous. Let me evaluate the position now after nb6, b4, nb6, b4, knight into rook must come because knight c3 knight moves rook into a2 is really bad. nb6, b4, you got to take knight into rook, pawn into knight. Now e4 pawn is under attack. bb6, suppose bb6, bb6 and you play queen to d7, queen d7, d7, then knight into pawn. Huh? How much you will give? Only 2 pawn down. bb7, knight into pawn is a threat. So queen d3 must come. And after queen b7, it is really bad. So I think, so very well calculated. I don't know how much time should took. Let me see how much time Soumya took here. Soumya had 140, and next move. Soumya. So she had 1 hour. So 14 minutes she took. So she must have calculated all these things in 14 minutes. Excellent. Definitely she must have seen the exchange sacrifice. After knight b6, pawn to b4, knight into pawn into knight, looks terrible for white. Now the plan is to knight e4 is there, queen a5 is there. Huh? And so 23 minutes. Now already 15 minutes have been taken by white on this move. So what is the board number 5 is the most interesting game of the round so far. What is happening? There is no development after knight here. This is coming castle, king, knight. Why this move? When you have played already a plan, I would say the simple knight f4. Simple knight f4, I think black has the initiative. Knight f4 you cannot grab the pawn and get away because the dark square problems. Knight f4 should be good. Why waste time? Because black square bishop will play buck. If you give it and allow bg5, there is no kingside attack possible, and rook c8, and there is a lot of hiccup white will have after that. Of course, knight f4 is correct move instead of this queen c7. That is why I recommended knight f4. You cannot allow me to win the pawn. Knight into d5 is a threat. Okay, let's see. I don't see a big compensation. Not much. What can you do here? Now, rook c8 is not a good idea. If you white plays, black plays mechanical rook c8, then white will create some trouble with the bishop f5 and bg4 also. That is one possibility. So that is also, in my opinion, is not dangerous because knight f4 is there. Why give the pawn? Why give the pawn here? Queen should retreat. In my opinion, there is no immediate danger because queen e4 simply g6 is okay. I think queen should retreat to c7 into one healthy pawn. Okay, so queen d8. No, this is definitely, you should not go after too much material. Now rooks are connected, So I think it's logical is queen c7. The elementary strategic point, rooks are connected. Why you want to waste time going after the pawn, which can be defended easily? Not a good idea. Because after queen d8, even now, because the knight is away, white can prepare to play c4 as well, taking a total grip of d5 square. White can play c4. He should be already safe after pawn into b7 to b5, a4. So queen c7 is the right way to play. Alright, it's a matter of choice. So this is rook g1 played. Okay, white is better positionally, but there is a pawn down. After queen c7, black was better, I think. Alright. Kiran Manisha. So, did she miss this? Did she miss this? Bad miss. Okay. White is pawn down and a bad king situation. Blunder. Who is this? Sakshi versus Saranya. Chitlanja Sakshi. Okay, the strategically, but this kind of variations hardly can count for a win. So dull and not good. Okay. So white is having a small advantage. Alright, here what happened? Bhate and Arpita Mukherjee, Swati Ghate. That is why I said rook e1 was okay. Now taking. Okay. Next. Chandri Hazara was Asha Karwade. What is he going to do? What is he going to do? Knight to h5. Now, Asha Karwade will retreat. Knight to h5 should come, giving trouble to white. Giving some trouble. Maybe bishop check first. Maybe you give a bishop check first. White has black has rd8 and it's very comfortable game. I think somewhere mishandled. Where is the mistake so far? Asha Karwade. I believe that here d4. Everybody is in trouble. Bishop check, knight has to retreat. Bishop check, knight has to retreat. And then some, maybe queen a5 is possible. It's a good game. little better. Black has some counter play on the white king's castle position, but black has some weakness at d6 pawn and d5, which is not relevant here. b6 looks good. Rook e8. Now the possible line is king to b1, then bishop e6. Okay. Let's see this one. Tejaswini Sagar. What has happened in the game? So Semislav. So here, I don't think it is necessary. I don't see that you are going to defend the pawn. And just castle, I believe. Should give the white will have two bishops and lead in development. So blacks were. So I believe that bold castling is more correct. After the move white castle, bishop takes c3, pawn into, queen into c3, rook to b1 maybe, or maybe rook to b1. No, this is g4 square is not covered. So white played the simple full seat because the g4 is not covered. Otherwise, it would have been playable. Imagine the pawn on h3. Imagine there is a pawn on h3. But could just castle, offering the pawn. With all dark square problems are there. Okay. Position looks better to me. White position looks better because the e4 pawn is artificially dependent. May not be the best move. Here, may not be the best move. I would say rook c1 is good move. Even the a3, because if you give the bishop, there is a problem of black squares. No, if you play a3, bishop and knight and d5 will equal. So rook f to c1 is correct answer. Rook f c1 with the idea is 3 and save the bishop. Rook f c1 should have been played. Now what did he do? Bishop to e5, not the correct move. So equal. This should not be a problem. After bishop into c3, pawn into c3, knight d5, then rook c1, you can just retreat the bishop to g6 and f5. It should be okay. The structure is solid. Okay. Now, next game. Vishwa is a solid player. She does not take risk and just play in a very solid style. Is weak. I don't see any danger. I don't see. could have taken that and b5. So what he can do now? This is a tricky position. What can black do here? I think in the given circumstance, just white rook b8, it should be good. White rook b8, black looks better. The queen b3 move is having no impact. You have to defend the d3 pawn. After white rook b8, you got to defend the d3 pawn. Knight into knight and queen into knight. Then bishop e3. All these things are not great. Should be a dull game, but it is black is very comfortable after rook b8. Okay. Return to the first board. What is happening to the young Jessica Raut? What is happening to young Jessica Raut from Orissa? Why is she choosing this variation f6, bg4? There are lines with f6, line with bg4, line with queen d, active queen d6. This is not desirable. Typical end game that white looking for a queen majority on the king side. Now what is going to do for queen check? No, queen check is not there. Queen check is not there. So queen exchange is desirable. Upon the queen exchange, you should exchange even that pair of rooks also. Slightly better for white will be okay. Not much. An interesting game. Okay. Let's look at the first board game. So, Bhakti Kulkarni was Mahalakshmi. White is enjoying space and more dynamic chances are there. White position is preferable. The possible line I can see that white can play h4 king not start h4 king g2 and operation on the king side. I don't see I don't see why white should waste time with rook f c1. In the Sicilian dragon we see all that for some counter activity, but here in the given position there is nothing on the queen side. White has some space and you better activate with pawn to h4 with the idea eventually king g2 or even bg5 94 is possible. Why waste time? So with pawn h4 it would have been more prudent in this position. Okay, so second board, Padmini Rao game, what has happened? So finally, so knight into pawn into. So what black will expect? There is a solid blockade there. Preparing for queen to c4 in case. Okay, because queen c4 you can play knight to b3, bishop c5 is not coming, you just take it. So I think king b1 is okay. King b1 is okay. What else you can do? Black had lot of dynamic play after here. Simply pawn into the terrific game. You needed the extra knight for attack. Now this is making life very easy. In the given position, imagine there was a black knight on c5, white knight on c3. There would have been more problem for white. I think the position is harmless for white now. Just kb1 is just good enough. Okay. Cesar Sandra versus Mary. Very aggressive move. What is he doing for the h4 threat? What are you going to do for the h4 threat? Rook f2. I think black has a strong initiative. After rook f2, you can bring rook to h6. With the idea h4 and if g4, knight into g4 is not coming, rook g6 can come. I think this looks interesting. Right away rook h6. Right away rook h6. b3 can come. Rook g6. h5, you got to defend the h4 threat. So rook f2 is called for. Or shall you play b e3 with the idea of bf4? That is all not correct actually. b e3 is not correct. Interesting. b e3 maybe because you got to stop rook h4 6. And after the exchange of dark square bishop, black has a small positional pull but not enough. b e3, bc5, bishop to bishop, then maybe rook into or queen into whatever. The advantage is positional only. There is no danger to the white king. Because of the pressure on f7, black is unable to utilize the knight. What can I do? On b3, g5 is not possible. f6 is pressurized. But it seems to me b3 is the only move. Because if you delay, suppose like a move like a rook f2 or a passive move, then black can play rook h6 and then b3 will be too late. You can play g5. You can play g5. Because rook on h6, then rook, queen, knight and rook 2 pawns will put lot of pressure. So in the given situation, safer alternative is to play bishop to e3 and after h4 you can just play maybe king g2 is okay, king g2 okay, or bf4 is also okay. Yeah, the correct move played by Srija, stopping rook h6 and g5. And now it is obvious that black should play. There is no more kingside attack possible, so you should just go for a small positional plus with bishop c5. Unsackable queen, bishop c5, bishop into bishop, queen into check. Okay. Should be okay, bishop c5. There is nothing better I find. No other easy plan for black. Black cannot put further pressure. Now supporting, the point is if you castle knight g4, it is too ambitious. It is better to exchange the dark square, then you have the superior bishop. Bishop c5, bishop into bishop, queen takes check, kg2. Should be equal maybe. But any case, black has little problem. The e pawn is weak and the pawn is pinned. double S position. Hmm. What you can do? Given circumstances, what he can do? We have one move bishop f4. When there is a check, we can repeat with bishop e3. That is a safer alternative. Bishop f4 is a safer alternative because queen c5, d3 back, or bishop check is harmless because in that case you can play king to g2, h3 check, king to h1 is okay. Instead of h4, I think bishop c5 was more prudent because white has very passive pieces and the still attacking chances are going on. Bishop takes queen check, then you can play rook to h6. With the idea rook g6 was more interesting in this position. It was better to play bishop to c5. Then white will have a problem in the absence of the black square bishop. Okay. Now I guess there is a repetition of move because bishop f4, queen to c5, bishop to e3, queen to c7. But then what are we going to do for the g3? This is asking for trouble. This is asking for trouble. I don't know what is going to do. Pawn into pawn. Pawn takes pawn. Rook to h4. This is asking for trouble. What are you going to do for pawn into pawn, rook h4 threatening, rook g4 as well. But then bf4 comes, right? bf4 comes. bf4 comes. That is the problem, huh? I think it's bad. For example, pawn takes pawn. Now forced. Pawn into pawn forced. Now you can play g5. Queen into f6 is unplayable. And if you play rook to h1, then king e7. Now pawn into pawn, h into g, pawn g5. Idea king to e7, then there is problem here. There is problem. I feel there is a lot of problem. Rook h4. How many you have got? Rook h4, bf4 suppose. bh4. this looks good to me. H into G5. This is the critical move. This is the critical move when you cannot play the knight, and black is preparing to play king e7 next. I think this really is really troublesome. How can white play, I mean, without fear with the h file open? After hg, g5, what is he going to do? Rook h1, king e7. You cannot exchange bringing another rook. Rook h1 is having no effect. There are e4 weakness, g3 weakness, h file weakness. Black's clearly better after H and G5. Okay, let's go. Let's go to other games. So this is Divya Deshmukh versus what is happening? This is a dull game. So here B6, S3. Why S3? Why S3? Then there is a, I think black has the knight on H5. So the knight E5 looks good too. Knight E5 looks good. Now forced to play bishop into, then bishop into c6 with a clear plus for white. Why this move? What is the necessity? What is wrong with knight e5? Got to force move bishop into e5, then bishop into c6. Rook b8. Rook b8, then this should be good. Okay, that's a choice. Probably she is looking for g4, knight f6, and then, but then why black will double up? Black is going to double up. It will be less effective. After knight f6, knight e4, 5 is less effective. What is happening? Bhakti's Mahalasvi game. So finally played h4, but then why rook c8 instead of this move? The same diagram I was talking here. The same diagram, h4 and king g2, the speed up. There is no need to have played then rook h1, knight f5, h6. So this is mechanical move. Now she plays h4 with the idea that king g2 and rook will return. Then why waste a move? Padmani's game. So what is the idea? Why this move? Now queen c4 is coming, knight b3 cannot come, and b3 is not coming. This is just a bad move. kb1 was called for, kb1 is called, then this is okay. You can play kb1, this is safer move, but after this queen c4, that white is landing into a lot of trouble. Why this mechanical move? I can't understand. How white is going to meet queen c4? Huh? After queen c4, you are not going to allow a camel in the tent, right? Allowing the queen to a2 is like allowing the camel in the tent. Now b3 is not possible. Bishop to pawn check. Oh my god. She missed this move. White allowed queen c4. After queen c4 what? Rook b3, rook e3 you mean? Queen a2. How having queen c2, queen c4 now. Is there some kind of sag? I don't see. Queen c4. Is he going to play some queen f5? You mean? Possible. Possible. Queen f5 is possible. Because queen a2, you can give query to one threat on the rook. Yeah, counterplay is there. There is counterplay. So, okay, it is logical and justified. Now ready to castle, and now the threat is queen c4. So, you should play kb1. This is a good move. kb1 is a good move now. To meet queen c4 with b3. Obviously, now kb1 should be played. What else you have got? Because c2 is unprotected insufficiently, you don't have a combination of nfi and queen d5. I think rook e3 is a good move. kb1 is a good move. kb1 first, because you cannot play b3 otherwise. kb1, you castle, then rook c3, rook e3. kb1, I think very logical and prophylactic and safe. kb1 has to be played, and after the black castle, nothing better than that. White has got rook e3. And eventually, white can prepare to play h4, h5 and try for the expansion on the king side. kb1, black castle, rook e3. Neutralized. Once a pair of rook is exchanged, then the burden of defense will be less on white. Now, after kb1, castle, rook e3, you want to get rid of a pair of rooks. And endgame will be favorable for white, because there is a queenside majority and a double pawn, and there is a blockade. White should do not hurry. For the moment, white should play here kb1, castle, then h4, idea h5, and then rook e3. Because immediate rook e3, there is some kind of problem. There is some kind of problem here. In any case, kb1 is a safer move, and after castle h4. So no queen c4, and you are preparing to play h5 and rook e3. Very safe way. h4, rook d8 can come. Then rook e3 can come. In any case, I think I prefer to be white here after kb1. White has some advantage. And for the safety of the king, kb1 is essential, because there is not one movement hanging over you. And once the pair of rook is exchanged, you can think of some knight f5 move later on. Okay, so what is happening in this game? Return. Want to trade for the safety of the king. I think you should keep the knight, and without the knight, then no attack will come. So what else? How to save the knight? Knight g5, you can play h6, knight h3. belongs to at e3 maybe. Maybe you can return the knight to c3, knight d5, knight e1. Okay. So after b7, kb1 is necessary thinking. Now g5. Okay, so we cannot come for bishop there. I'm not very sure of the variation. I'm not very much sure. If the attack is beaten back, so not a good idea, because at the moment the queens of the board, white will have little problem. So white can solve the problem. Bishop to d4, bishop d4, queen to d4, queen into f6, takes bishop e5. The attack is over. When you come back, of course the end game is, that is a different, but your king will be, white king will breathe safely. Though positionally it is not a desirable to have a bad pawn structure and fight. What else? What else white can do? Then another move is c5. We have interesting c5 because bishop c5 is unplayable. c5. Bishop c5 is unplayable. c5, bishop to b8. Bishop b8, then you have rook h1. Rook h1, you don't release the pressure. What can you do? What can you do here? In any case, white has to worry. c5, black can play the intermediate g4 also. c5, g4 and queen f4. Then we met with queen into c3. bc3, bf4. It is very crazy position, but c5 you can go for the quieter move like even e7. Then there is a problem actually. What do you do for bishop to b8 after c5? Now rook h1 now. If rook h1, you can go king e7. Rook into rook, and further rook h1 is unplayable. The g3 point is hanging. So also g5 hanging. Interesting, but white has nothing to worry about it at the moment. Because after c5, if the queens are off the board, there is a queenside majority and there is 6 pawn. If white can consolidate it and play b4, you will have fantastic positional compensation. What is he going to do? Now c5 is to be played. c5. Rook into is also b8, it is necessary. And after bishop b8, what white is going to do? Eventually, there is a problem also. There is also a problem because after bb8, something like d5, and dc5 is unplayable. Rook into c3 is coming. Very dangerous position. Rook h1, after king e7, rook into another rook. But that is not desirable. What you can do? Because g4 is in the intermediary move. After rook h1, king e7, rook takes rook h1. Then you have got intermediary g4, which can spell trouble. Anyway, what is this one? This is Divya Deshmukh. Now she plays ne5. I don't think this is dangerous now, because I can offer the exchange sacrifice. How much? 7 pawns. You have got 7 pawns. But then, who are the weak pawns? Of course, there is a move like knight f5, which is harmless in my opinion. Knight and knight, bishop into bishop, knight into c4, bishop into rook, then knight into e3. No, maybe just simple knight f5. I would say simple knight f5 is harmless. Harmless. Bishop into knight into h6, rook e7, rook d7 is coming. Game is ready to a draw. I don't see any advantage. Even variation like knight into e5, then bishop into bishop, rb8 is also equal, rab8. Then bishop cannot come back to, then c4 is falling. Bishop a6 is bad. Bishop a6 is bad, poorly placed. You can hang on with the position, but poorly placed bishop. Very safe is knight f5. Get rid of the dangerous white square bishop. Because knight into knight, bishop into bishop, knight into c6, rd7. And if you play rd7, so not much dangerous this game. It's happening to Biswa. hardly anything left. It's like a dead wood. Anyway, you go anywhere, a pawn a5. There is nothing left on the board for either side. So, what is happening? What is happening? A blunder happened somewhere. Now, this position. So, Kiran Mansha has blundered the pawn. Anything wrong here? I can't believe what is this? How is it happening? Anything wrong? What is this? Where did this come from? Where did this come from? Who has been trained on that? Isn't it? Where did it come from? Something corruption is here in the digital mode. Where did this come from? Now the pawn. I don't understand. How it is possible? How this is possible? The white has a terrible positional weakness and there is a person come. Something is wrong. Maybe queen to d6. Alright. Let us return to the board 1 and 2. They are more interesting battle and vying for the top places. So Bhakti Kulkarni exchanges. I don't see any danger. At least any danger in the position. The only thing if you play h6, h6 is coming. So the logical move is queen to c6. This should be played. Queen to c6 should be good. Should be equal. Padmini's game. So finally, Budur Dankar played rook e3 right away. Okay, queen c4 is not dangerous. Rook c3 is there, and castle rook e3. So this will bring an end to the black ambition of a kingside attack. At this moment, black was enjoying excellent position. I would say this is an excellent position, and after bishop into pawn into, I think the position looks terrible for white. enter e5 to d4. It looks terrible. Do not worry about the pawn b4 move. After ed4, some queen moves rook c8, putting pressure on c3, c2. This is just mechanical and bad. Now bishop d5. Good move. I did not notice the c8 is hanging, so I thought kb1 and then rook, but straightforward rook. Queen c4 is unplayable because of rook c3. So I told you, once the pair of rooks are exchanged, the white's defense will be having no problem. No problem. Now where you are going to go? You can't go to queen a5, and after queen b6 also bad. Queen b6 bad. Where is he going to go? On queen b7, you have got knight f5 is not great. Queen b7 looks only. Rook and kb1. White is better. White is better. Because nfi is there any moment. You can play now going to b7, you can play rook into rook, pawn to f5 also, because bc5 can be met with be3. So big advantage for white, because knight is strongly placed in center and f6 break is coming. So bc5 is not good. Rook into rook and f5. White has initiated. Has the initiative. The threat of f6. What is he going to do for that? But one thing is, black has one plus point. He has a huge advantage. Black C has got a huge advantage of time. White has only 15 minutes for making 18 moves, whereas black has got 40 minutes plus. Though the position is bad, she has an advantage of time. And it is not difficult to find, because rook into rook is natural. The rook has come to exchange. After queen b7, there is no good square. After queen b7, rook takes rook, pawn f5. Or is he going to play queen to b8 then? b8 is also not good, because after rook into rook, you have got h4, h5 also. Is the idea later on to advance further. Rook into rook, you can play h4 with the idea bishop g3 and f5. White is better. The move is forced. Black has to play queen b8 is the only correct move, because if black plays queen to b7, natural move, then white has got rook into rook and f5, because there is no pressure on e5. Queen b8 is keeping an eye on e5, make it difficult to play f5. But if you play careless queen b7, then rook into rook and f5, I think it spells a lot of a trouble. Lot of trouble. So now going to c6 as I told, and if you want to play for a win, maintaining the queen with g4, maintaining the queen is g4, because queen f4 is not an ideal square. So you got to keep the queen if you want to play for a win. I think queen g4 is natural and also good, because this gives a threat of pawn to b4. Now queen b g4 is the only way you can play for a win. After queen exchange, you can set hand now for a draw. So Bhakti taken the lead. So maybe queen g4. You want to stop to pawn b4. And white is also intending to put a pawn on h6 and very uncomfortable. Or maybe bishop h6 idea, bishop f2, but king h8 is there. So after queen g4, king h8 may come. But then pawn b4. And if you try to stop b4, h6, it will spell trouble. What is happening to Mary? Mary. So the game continued. Here rook h1, king e7, rook f1. What are you going to do? Huh? Rook into rook and rook into rook. You cannot play king into. Can you play king into? Yeah, it is possible. It is possible. What you can do after rook h1? What you can do? So can you play move like g4? Into f4. Queen f4 can go for a superior endgame. After queen f4, you have got desperado queen c3 and pawn into c3, or queen into d6, it doesn't matter. The pawn into c3, then bishop into f4, pawn into f4. How about this ending? e4 pawn is falling. So a good judgment. Now queen f4 is bad on account of queen c3. I'm not using the mic. So my sound voice was very low today. Let's see how it is happening. Now this position maybe it spells a lot of trouble, because queen f4 is bad. Queen f4 is bad, and if you move queen to f2, the e4 pawn falls. So queen f4 is the only move. But then queen into c3, and the e4 pawn falls. bc3, bishop into f4, pawn, b into f4, take, and e4 one pawn down, and also bad. So either your black is, switching the game towards a winning endgame, a decisive game in the last round. I mean penultimate round. What can he do? What can he do otherwise? You have to defend g3, so you have to play either queen f2 or queen f4. Queen f2, then there is a deadly move, knight into pawn. That is asking more trouble. Then take check, queen into check. It is disaster. I think Mary is already in a winning position because of forced liquidation to a winning endgame. After queen f4, queen into c3. Queen into c3 is the decisive blow. Then you may go queen into d6 check. I don't see anything better. bc3 runs to bf4 and one pawn gone. Clean pawn up and two pawn down. It will become. I think it is winning. So let's see the game. Who is this? Dibya. Yeah, this is a dull game. You need to play sharply. When in the closing rounds, there is hardly one round left. There is only chance you have to win, but playing for a win like this is not so good. Having hardly anything. Okay. This is Soumya. What is happening? Soumya's game. What did she do? b5. Knight into b5. Knight into d6. Okay. All right. I guess the position should be good for black. What black will do now? What black will do now? After bishop takes b5, you can't play knight b5. The e4 pawn falls. And if you play pawn into queen into d6, queen d6, bd6, then bc4 can be met with knight e4. Knight e4. I think that looks dangerous. White's is in trouble. After bishop into b5, because knight b5 you have got knight e4. Knight e4. bf3 is not dangerous. Yeah, bf3 is also possible. What else you can do? There is another variation. Bishop into d6, knight into d6, and then you play knight d4. And after bishop into d4, you have queen d6. How about that? It is even. Somewhere mishandled. Somewhere what could have mishandled Soumya? She played here knight into pawn. What else you will do? So rook into is justified. Now I played knight into. Maybe this move. Maybe you can halt. I don't think this is a appropriate move here. I think a simple b6 looks better to me, because bishop a6 only blocking the a line. Bishop e6 looks good because the pressure on e4, so no bishop c4 allowed. Bishop e6 intending nd4. Bishop e6 intending nd4. Okay, so see, this is not best move. Why this? Okay. Rook d8 not stuck coming. What we can do? What can you do here? I think black went wrong. I think at the moment bishop e6 is definitely having an edge for black. Play with the center. Is occupying the c4 square and preparing for some queen f5. b6 with idea queen f5 and rook c8, rook d8. Should be minus plus. Bishop e6 spells lot of trouble. The d6 knight is in a jeopardy, so b5 knight is overloaded. When the knights support each other, they are not good. So b6, I think its position is minus plus. But here he went wrong, and I think white is okay now. What is happening? Top two boards. This is Bhakti Kulkarni has got queen's exchange. What can you expect from here? Dull and draw. What I can foresee, a draw is on the way. There is nothing. You should not exchange queen. If you want to play for a win, queen on the board, of course. Queen g4. There is absolutely, you are playing for a win without any risk. What is you worried about? Because black has to meet a threat of pawn b4 and pawn to h6. So this is uncalled for. Maybe she is in time trouble and decided not to push further. Okay. So what is happening? The development Padmini Raut game. Rook e3, queen b7, bad move. Now rook into rook f5. As I predicted, the queen on b8 was required, putting pressure on e5. Now white has a free hand because there is no pressure on e5. Then f5 is coming. f5 is coming with some trouble. What else you can do? Because bishop g5, you have got prudent b e3, b into e3, bishop into e3, queen e3. Still the problem is not over. What you can do now other than f5? Better f5, because in the absence of the bishop, the black king can be in trouble also. f5, bg5, be3, bishop into bishop, queen into bishop, when the queen and knight is better than queen and bishop. Yeah, the c2 point is not that dangerous. Not that dangerous. I don't see why f5 should not be played. Is there anything wrong here? White has the initiative after f5, and oh my god, do you see the time trouble? Do you see 2 minutes? She has got 17 moves to do, 2 minutes. I think it looks like, if you calculating f5 at the moment, this is lost. I think time only running out. No, you can't play so lousy chess. But time problem. There is a time problem. Postponing f5. So this is Mahalakshmi game is now become very dull, and after this is nothing. So, and now what is happening here? What is happening? What is g4? You come here, then take. What is this? A pawn down. This is a pawn down. This is nothing. After a bishop takes check, queen takes check, king to g1, you have queen e3. You are now, this is queen e3, or that c4 pawn falls. I think it is all over. It is all over. So, bishop check, queen check, king f1 is not good because of check, and king to g1 only move. Rook into pawn, idea queen e3 is over. Over. Who is this game? Divya Deshmukh, and what is this she played? 3-6 pawn. This is nothing. Simply the game's going to a draw. So here Soumya missed some very good opportunity, and I think now game has become probably equal. Because if you give time, White will consolidate with f3 and move the queen, and hardly any danger. What you can do now? So it turned out to a pawn down from a minus position. White has consolidated. Okay, it should be good for White now. Isha Sharma is White against Varshini. White is better. White is better. Okay. Kiran Manisha. Am I seeing the right position? Huh? How can how the impasse will come? Bishop into takes. How? Something is wrong. Something is wrong here. Board position is wrong, or the feeding is wrong. Anyway, What is happening? Chitlange. After knight into the h2 is knight cannot, knight is having, there is two attacks, c8 and h2. So did black overlook this? Now after this, bishop into, the calculation of the black is good. The queen got to move, but the knight into rook, and if you move the bishop, knight into h2, everything looks good for black. But that is an opposite color bishop still. Okay, this should be okay. What is happening here? Chandri Hazara, Swati Ghate. Chandri Hazara is black. Not great. Not a great position. This is Arpita Mukherjee Swati Ghate. This is Chandri Hazara versus Isa. Isa white. So black has the advantage with the white king in the center. What is he going to do after queen to g6? What is he going to do after queen g6? White. Let me return to the, okay. So Monica Bomini, not a great position. So this is Tejaswini Sagar is playing white, black. This is Nivedita white. This is advantage for black because the position of color complex. This is the position of color complex. So the black should play a6 because you should not allow white a6 with the b pawn. So after a6, rooks and followed by rook c6 and other rook, two rooks and queen bishop. The position black enjoying the advantage of color complex, because the white bishop on b4 is just a dummy. It will be just a dummy because there is no future in any other diagonal, and black will keep bringing the two rooks on the king side after a6 and rook c6. So it turned out to be quite dangerous, even without rooks. Queen also on the board. Maybe rook c6 directly. You can ignore that pawn a6 plan. Rook c6 and trying to bring the other rook to e8 and e6, and advancing the king side pawns. This spells trouble. Black has an advantage. White has mishandled the position. Black has the better game. Okay. Mitika Malik. So king position is so bad. Mitika Malik is having a terrible king position. I think black will collapse after g5. After g5 he is going to collapse, because pawn into pawn, bishop into b5 is finished. Am I right? Pawn g5, I think this is bringing a quick end to black in the game. Kalyani versus Mitika Malik. So g5 puts the final nail in the coffin. Because f into g5, bb5. Oh, rook check. Would you see that I am overlooking that bishop is controlling the h1? Oh my god. See, that is the reason I am not playing serious tournaments. After a long time, last national I played is 2001. So I want to play just for fun. 23, after 22 years, I would like to play the senior national if my schedule permits. What is going to do? This is a bad king position. g5, you can't take the pawn. There is a mate. So you are going to defend the pawn, but how? Because there is a mate, and if you move the rook, then a deadly queen check is coming on h2. What are you going to do? g5. How is he going to defend? Good heaven. f6, how is he going to defend f6 point? Because after pawn into pawn, queen has to mate is coming. Rook f8 is not possible. Queen f8 is not possible. So this is finished. Who is this playing so powerful chess? So exploiting the king in center. Check. Very good game. One of the best instructive game of the Women National. Who is this player? I cannot see. Black is Mitika and Kalyani. Kalyani is white. Very well played by Kalyani. f6, g5 is killing. g5 is just killing. Knight into rook is a prosaic win. Knight into rook is a prosaic win, but g5 is finishing, threatening mate in 3. Pawn into pawn and queen s2. 1, 2, 3. Alright. So nice game. Who is this? Biswa. Playing very solid chess, and Biswa is hanging on to the position. 6 pawns each. King e7 is anything is draw. You don't have to retreat. You don't have to retreat from there. Maybe pawn to c5 and knight c6 is just fine. Just fine for black. Equal. Anyway, this is also a good move, waiting move. Draw. So this is going to heading to a draw. So okay, let's return to top board games. What is it? Why this pawn? I can't understand why you have to give the pawn. Oh, I see, the g4 weakness. G4 weakness. After pawn into pawn, rook coming and f3, you collect the pawn back. Rook into rook, and it is fizzling to a draw. A bishop ending is 4c. After pawn into pawn, rook d4, you play f3, rook into pawn, rook into rook into rook into rook c1, and rook into rook, bishop into rook. The peace treaty is very quick. The players will sign for a draw very quickly. So no much risk, but beginning white has better. Anyway, it is fizzling to a draw very soon. What is happening? Padmini Raut game. Oh, there is some quick development has taken place. Now in this position, f5 was called for, but she was in deep time trouble and did not want to calculate, and played this lackluster move, allowing pawn b4. Take, bishop into pawn. There is a threat. This is also not risky, but it is now black has some chance because bishop pair is there, and the follow-up could be pawn to a4. Maybe bishop check and a4 also. In any case, it is black having initiative and also a big lead in time. Now when you played rook into, at this point there is no need of this s3 move. f5 was coming, f5 a3 is coming. Okay, alright, now let's see this position. Bishop check, you can a4, threatening a bishop check, and this. What can he do? What can he do now? Can he play a move like c4? Can he play a move like c4? That knight is controlling b3, bishop into pawn, and bishop check will lead to mate. No mate. c4, bc4, bc4, then bishop check. So c4, pushing the queen away. On bishop check, king will run away via e2. Bishop check, you are running away. Bishop into pawn, pawn into bishop, bishop check, then king d2, queen check, king e1, bishop check af1. You are running away. There will be two pawns for the piece, but is it okay? No, I don't think so. Bishop into pawn into bishop check, kd2, queen b2 check, king b2, king e1 I mean. Then queen b4 check, king f1, queen into pawn check. So looking for a safe haven at g2. Looking for a safe haven at g2. And I think that is obligatory, because if you retreat, you will retreat all the way. Now if you retreat, you lose the thread of the game, knight into c6, and then you have nothing left on the board for a plan. And also you are not supposed to take it. Yeah, we have to take it, because a4 break you cannot allow. Still white is not out of danger. Bishop c6, knight into queen into. Still black king position, white king position is shaky. That has to be played, in my opinion, that either rook c1, rook c8, but that will allow a king to where's knight to c2. If you play rook c8, in the given circumstances, knight c2 is the best. So a3 is controlled and bishop is threatened. Rook c8, knight c2, bishop c6. That will fizzle to a draw. Maybe white is better, because queen exchange is offering coming, almost forced. After queen f7, there is hardly you can decline the queen exchange. So I think he is beating back the attack. So I would say best is bishop c6 and knight into, queen into. Still the a4 threat is coming. It is a question of judgment. I would say that with a little material also, that king is not out of danger. What is he going to do? After bc6, ncc, queen c6, a4 is still coming. Queen f7, you mean queen f7? Queen f7. Interesting. After bc6, knight c6, queen f7, where the rook is going. Because if you move the rook to c8, then queen exchange is favorable for white with a 2-1 majority, having a pass pawn. So rook c8 will bring the queen to c6, almost queen exchange forced. I think black is in trouble, because piece sack does not work. Bishop into pawn into rook c8. What do you want to do? Bishop into pawn into rook c8. You defend. Because I feel that bishop takes pawn takes rook c8. You have simple nc2. Rook into pawn. You have got the rook check is coming, which is not that easy, by the way. Now obligatory is bishop c6, because rook c8 you have knight c2, then bishop c6 may come, but then queen a7. I think slowly and steadily white will improve the position, and black leaves black into deep trouble because of the pass pawn. Because after bc6 you can take it, and queen a7, rook c8 you have nc2, because still bc6 you will exchange the queen by force. So bishop c4, pawn into, desperate bishop c4, pawn into. Oh no, you don't have bishop check. Because queen is watching that. Do you see that? Probably it is now a very difficult situation for black. Alright, coming to the first board, it is already maybe withdraw. She played something like, what did she do? She played this. I don't think this is desirable. This is not desirable. Hardly one can count. Oh, you can take rook into pawn and bishop into rook d2. It should just draw. Rook d2 draw. Arey, what is wrong taking the pawn? There is no backrank issue here. Rook into pawn, you got to take bishop into a7. Then rd2, it is immediate draw. Is black playing for a win in this position? Huh? Is black playing for a win? Draw, it's a draw. And this position, I think, trouble for black. But still, I cannot say it is all over, because you can see that white is playing with hanging flag hanging. 38 seconds left. Fortunately for white, not too many pieces on the board and the number of variations are very limited. So calculation is not a difficult problem here. But still, 38 seconds is 38 seconds. Too low a time for 11 moves, 12 moves. 12 moves. You got to do 12 moves very quickly. I don't think so that easy. That easy. What can you do now? How to keep the game rolling? The best alternative, it seems to me, the best alternative, that rook c8 is bad, knight c2 is there. The best alternative, you save the bishop with your queen to c6, c8, queen c8, and then c2 you run away with bishop to 8 to keep the game alive. Winning a pawn up and down doesn't matter. So queen c8, knight c2, bishop a8. Still, black is still kicking. What else? What else? The back rank is cleared. So still there is a fight left. The best under the circumstances, queen c8. Rook c8 is bad, and c2 will force matters. So queen c8, then you get knight c2, and you play bishop to a8. What else? Queen c7 is not good. Queen to c8. I mean, because white is in time trouble, so this variation must have been overlooked by her. Queen c8. And you have nothing better than stopping a sacrifice. You mean to say queen to, because a4 break is coming, so you got to play nc2. You got to play nc2, threatening the bishop. Then bishop a8, run away. The best continuation, and that because of time trouble of white may not find the best lines. But if you don't play queen c8, I think that spells end for black, because very quickly easy to find moves. rc8 is bad. The queen exchange will be forced with a very bad endgame for black. It's not difficult to find queen c8. Natural looking move. Rook is good, so this should be okay. Arey, what happened? She gave a check. Run away. No, this spells lot of trouble, because the bishop is hanging yet. Now king is running away. No, I think queen c8 would have been keep the game alive. Should have kept the game alive, because saving the white bishop was essential. Then after king, what is he doing? Queen check, king e2. Oh, Then bishop into pawn, pawn into, queen into check. Hurry, why not now bishop into, oh, queen c3, queen c3 check, you have got queen to d2. But still this position should be now winning easily after king e2, I believe so. King e2 is there, king e2 is the best. Then allowing that, what can you do here? If you calculate the variation, you should take the bishop, or shall you play king to e2 right away? King to right away. I guess king e2 is safe. There is nothing, pawn a4, you can sweep the bishop, pawn into pawn. Yeah. Now king e2 or king e1, I mean king e1, no, king e2. Then you have a4 break. So you have a4 break. You got to be careful. I guess king e2 is safe, because on a4, no, king e1 she plays. A1 she plays. The idea is to, if you play a4, you have queen to a7, but then rook a8 is coming, then queen b6 is there. King e2 was safer anyway. The idea after a4 pawn into queen into c4 is not a check, the bishop is attacked. Though white is out of time trouble, want for a king safety on priority. King safety on priority, and want to take the e4 pawn. E4 pawn, then you have lot of square to run away. And the back rank also. After pawn a4, pawn into queen a4, then queen e4, you have to watch the back rank. So the rook is tied down and you run away. So decision is good. It was a difficult move in time trouble. Now what can you do about it? What can you do about it? Because if king runs to safety, I think it is all bad. What you can do after queen to b7, king to f1, queen into b3, queen e4, still there is trouble is there, because white has a very solid pawn structure chain and there is no danger. So we have passed pawn, but the king position is shaky. Five pawns, there is a pass pawn. Variation queen b7, king f1, queen into b3, you have rook check. Rook check is coming, deadly check. Though king moves, king has to go to h7. You cannot take the rook, you cannot play bf8. bf8 is losing, and taking rook losing, king h7, then you have queen to e4 check. I think that is giving a lot of trouble. So queen b7 is a bad idea because of king f1. a4, what you can do? Pawn into pawn, queen into pawn, then queen into e4. This is also bad. This is also bad. I think this is already, but still the flag is hanging. So you must put some kind of tactical threats if possible in the given position. Huh? Where is the tactics coming? Mrudul defended very grimly the earlier round with Mary. From a seemingly lost position she survived, and today also she defended from a deadly dangerous position and ran away. So her defensive resources are good. Now king is safety. King E1 exclamation. Running away from possible checks. Harmless bishop check, then king F1. A4 is bad. After pawn into pawn, rook into pawn, queen E4. And queen B7 is bad, KF1. What's going on? Second board, third board, what is happening? This is Mary. Mary with the Srija should be overwhelming. This is no match now. It's chained 4 pawn chain and weak pawn and active king. It's all over. There is no fight left. It's waste of time. Now Dibya trying to get something out of nothing. Huh? Trying to get something out of nothing. So after what? Now you have to stop that move E6. So maybe you can play rook to F5 and bishop F6. You can, oh, that is not coming. So RD7, then E6, you can take it. Knight into pawn spells problem. So she is trying to find out some kind of play out of nothing. I don't see there is a big danger here. I think the correct move is H6. Here the correct move is H6. Knight into pawn, rook pin, rook E7, bishop G5. That is giving trouble again. What can you do about it? But because of the knight's position, this should be no problem. In my opinion, you should just the rook is tied down. A king safety is called for. A king safety is called for. There is no G4, so I would say rook coming to F5. Rook coming to F5 is correct, because bishop F6 has to come, and then there is, once a bishop, the pawn cannot move. The pawn cannot move. Rook to F5, bishop F6. Still, it is technically black has some problem, but I think it's not a wise move. Give the pawn. Not a wise move. Who is this black player? No, this is bad. This is bad. You can take the pawn, harmless. The king in center, his pawn is immune. You can take that pawn. Bishop into pawn, knight into the pin, rook coming there. Then F4. You can't take the pawn. So want to exchange the rook. Get rid of one pair of rook by giving a pawn. bishop into pawn, rook d8 and survive. What happens to pawn to e6? I'm not convinced about it. This is not convincing e6 because rook f5 can come. Rook f5 can come. After bishop into pawn, rook e4 5, and if you play rook e5, and if you play the rook e1, maybe you play king e7, but that is also not correct. And exchange down is not correct. Pawn into king into pawn into pawn, k is 6. This is not correct line. What you can do? What can you do now? Rook h6, you mean? Rook h6. The problem is e7 rook d8 is coming. E7 rook e8 is coming, but you have a defense for that because king f7 and blocking the rook. So in the given circumstances, what you can do here? I think white is in a winning position because that pass pawn. So Dibya is displaying immaculate technique from a position. Nowhere she is preparing a variation that gives hard time to black. Well played. The young girl, top seed of Maharashtra, very talented player. Okay, so what is happening? This is fizzling to what is happening. Bhakti Kulkarni Mahalakshmi. This is nothing. Why you don't have to? Now what is, I cannot understand the position. What is the use of back? Black is playing for a win. Just rook into pawn, bishop into pawn, rook d2, draw. But why this? Why this move? You take the pawn. Just a dead position. Just exchange, bring the king, rook d1 and bring the king. Rook d1 and bring the king f2. Because bishop and bishop and then there is nothing. Why wasting time? So next top board, second board, what happened? So she went for the line. When you play pawn into queen into check, the king goes away. The queen is attacked, so there is no time. So what did she do here? What did rook c8? Why you have to play king? Why you have to play king here? Okay, a4. Then why this move? If you have played, you better run to g2. But then queen c5 was there. That is a trick. Now you can go to kb1, king g1, I mean. But still that is a problem. Took. So queen c4 check is necessary. After queen c4 check, kg2 and queen into pawn, there is a problem. Rook coming there, but that can defend. Rook 8. fizzling to a draw. It's fizzled to a draw. After queen check, now it took the pawn. So rook a1, you have got queen check is there. What can you do? It's draw. Black is having a better game. Now check queen e2. Now check. You can play queen to e2, and then queen into queen, king into. Force move queen e2. Otherwise, white will be in trouble. After queen e2, queen c3 can come. Queen c3 is winning for black. Queen c3 is winning. It's all over for black. Black is winning. Over. Over and out. So the time trouble of white helped black to capitalize from an inferior position. It's easy to win. What you are waiting for? Queen c3, rook attacked, a3, s3 attacked. Over. Yeah, finished. So this is over. And now what is this? Marian Gomes. This is nothing left. So 2 games are decided. And now Nimi George versus Somia. This is again from a very bad position. White has wriggled out, and it is now probably winning. One extra pawn and a fantastic position. I think exchanging a knight is not wise. You should keep the knights on the board. This is not a good idea because opposite color should be giving the best fighting chance for black. So this is just a weak move now. Nisha Sharma versus Varsini. How did he escape? Nisha Sharma Varsini. Arey, the time trouble. Bishop into rook. Bishop into rook is finished. Okay, time trouble. So who is this? Manasa Kiran Manisha Buddha. I think this is I cannot see. The board has been come wrong. So there is no further. So next. So who is this player? Saranya. So white is a healthy pawn up with a dominating position. Should be able to win the technical. Swati Ghate. Okay, so this is Isha versus Chandri Hajra. Should be winning. bishop takes pawn. Four pawns, but active position. How do you defend the mate? After bishop takes pawn, queen c3 loses. Okay, back rank is there. So it should be a draw, maybe a draw. Okay, draw already over. I did not see the result. It's over, a draw. What is happening to Biswa? Biswa on the board 12, I guess. Board 15, Biswa. A draw. Okay. What is happening? Other Gujarat player on the fray, Tejaswini. Okay. So exchange of a pair of rook is a lot of relief. This can survive. Once one pair of rook exchange, there is not much activity. Not much activity here. Black is better, but it is not so dangerous now. Okay, Kalyani, how did she wriggled out from that mess? How did he wriggled out? After knight, oh, she took knight into. I think g5 was killing, so she wanted a safe win. It's all over. Exchange down and not much compensation. Actually, it should be winning slowly. But still not over. E3 will kicking around. E3 is kicking around. Okay, but there was easy victory for her after playing so well. Let's return to top board again. Last round up, because okay, first board, okay, it is all over. This is a dead position draw. Second board is winning. Is it winning? I think so, because 2 pawn up and a bad king, and the active piece queen is all over. I think it's over. Let's say winning plan. This should be winning. Okay, so second board is over. Now third board. It's winning. Fourth board. So black found amazing resources, because the e pawn is the main headache. So she can survive. Now rook into king into bishop check, and the pawn is alive, but rook is hanging. So good move. It's a good move, but still I believe it's not all over. Now rook into rook, king into rook, knight into, then you play bg5. 3 to 5 pawns, 4 pawns. Rook into rook, king into rook into rook, knight into rook, bg5, and bring the king quickly into the fray. I think this is still problem, because black's queen side majority, it is not so effective. White is having active king. Because h5 and f5 is coming anyway. So I think white is still winning position, I think. Okay, so here Soumya struggling to survive. It is also not a great bishop into rook. I don't know why he played bishop into rook. The only time trouble. Then Kiran is fighting, or I don't know, the board has been corrupted. So It is all, there is no more, nothing interesting going on, everything is clear. Now, Jessica Raut. Is another better game for black, but there is nothing special about it. So I think I should stop the stream because there is no more interesting games. Who is this? Sneha Haldar versus Kumawat Dakhini. The queen pawn end game. Sneha Haldar is winning. No, Kumawat is winning because unstoppable queen is coming and there is no mate. So queen h8 is possible. Hey, queen h8. What do you do for mate? King into. But there is a mate. No. King is escaping. Queen h8. King is escaping. King into pawn. King into pawn. Queen into g7. Queen into f7. But the pawn on 7th rank. It is winning for Sneha Haldar because the king is running away. Nothing is happening here. The king is running away. Okay, so this is also over. Neha Singh. It's over only. So I would like to end the stream here. So thank you very much, friends, being with me and your patience to hear me. Yeah, this is again black is trying, but it is nothing. Why white has to do so passively? Now black has some chance. Now Bhakti Kulkarni playing so passively. Black has some chance because a2 point weak and king is entering. What is he doing about it? The rook mobility is not there. Rook's mobility is not there. So from nowhere, black has created some winning chance. How can you play this? Because now black's plan is to play pawn to e5, pawn to e5, and then pawn into pawn and kg5. Black is preparing to play e5. So white should do something for that. And what white is going to do for that? For the e5 plan. Because capture on f5, the h5 point is weak. The rook endings are draw, but it is not wise to do for so long without playing so passively. Of course, e5 next. E5, pawn into pawn, king into pawn, then rook e1, king to g5, rook h1 or rook check. What do you do? What to do? E5, maybe here you can play pawn into pawn and rook to g5 also. But that is no, pawn into pawn is and rook e5 also. Pawn into pawn, rook to d4. How is you going to defend? Pawn takes pawn, rook d4, rook g3, rook g3. You have king g5, rook e3. Then you have rook into pawn and rook check and rook into a2. But then the c6 hanging. So in any case, black is better. It is not all clear, but only black has chance after some tricks. It may be a draw. So second mode is over and third mode is over almost, and fourth mode he played f4. Okay, this should be winning because after you play now king coming to creating a pass pawn and two connected pawns. After after now two connected pawns, you can play h5 directly, pawn into pawn f5, knight e7, f6, and king to g3, king s4. Maybe king g3, a preliminary king g3 is correct. Preliminary king g3 is just winning, I guess. What about direct h5, pawn into f5, then knight e7. Knight e7, you play f6. That is killing just. So I think h5 is winning for Dibya. h5, knight e7 may come. Why she plays this move? Why? h5 is winning straightforward. We are giving some time for counterplay. The end game, the element of time is important. What can you do? For b5, b4 can come, right? Now b5, there is a move. So you are giving some time, breathing time. b5, h5 takes f5. That all may be winning, but okay, this is also winning, I guess, because king is coming to e4. Should win slowly. All right. Now next. This is what? Soumya. They're not much change, but struggling. So this is Varsini. Who is this? Saki, okay. Not much interesting. All right. So I think it is time to go for lunch. Very hungry. Okay, thank you very much, friends. And tomorrow is the final round and deciding. So very interesting battles are coming. I will see you tomorrow at 9:45 for the final round. Take care, everybody, and bye.